Welcome to another edition of iWake. Today is Tuesday, June 4th, 2013. And my apologies for not being there yesterday. We'll try to do both topics today, in theaters and the Apple world. So let's get to it. In theaters, I saw After Earth, which many of you may have seen my movie review. This is a movie that had so much potential, but really failed on so many levels to captivate me as an audience member. It failed to connect me with the characters. It failed to have any emotional attachment towards whether they succeed or fail in this movie or not. It was worth seeing once, but beyond that, I would not recommend buying this or seeing it multiple times. It does not have a lot of depth to it, and just kind of a disappointment on many levels. So check out my full movie review for details on that. Now, in the Apple world, a couple things going on. WWDC is right around the corner, and Apple has released a WWDC 2013 iOS app. The company, Apple, has announced they will be giving out videos, or that app will be having videos in it every day, or during WWDC, starting on that Monday. So starting Monday the 10th, we will have videos in there to register developers. You don't even need to have a paid account, just a developer of some sort. Now, next up in the Apple world, Apple has updated the iPod Touch line with a new 5th generation iPod Touch. Now, it's not what you think. This is not a big revamp. What this has done, it's gotten rid of the $200 4th generation iPod Touch, replaced it with a $229 iPod Touch, 16 gigabytes, but there's no back camera or camera loop. So it's quite an oddball. We've not seen an iOS device without a back camera since the original iPad. This is a very bizarre move to cut down costs and get this product out there. But yeah, it's very bizarre, and I'm curious to see when they will give that back a camera. That seems kind of nuts, but not unheard of for Apple. Next up, out of the the D11 conference, I think it's called, Disney has unveiled a new wearable type product for people that go to their parks and resorts. This wearable product will help you get through easy pass lines, help you pay for things, and be your ID and all sorts of things for you and your kids. And it seems like a really cool notion, kind of a Fitbit Flex type thing, but for Disney using some cool technology in there. So that's that. Tim Cook was at D11. He had some interesting things to say about a lot of different topics. He made it pretty clear to me that Apple will be getting into wearables, that it will be a wrist-type wearable. It won't be any glasses or things like that. It'll be on your wrist. It will be multi-function device, and there were a lot of cool details, really, not big details, but a lot of broad strokes spoken about at the conference from Tim Cook. Some very interesting things indeed. Some people thought he was boring, but I thought it was a really interesting 15 minutes or whatever, how long it was, interview with the All Things D team. So that is available to you to watch in its full, glorious, however long it was, commercial free. I watched it on the Apple TV through the Wall Street Journal app that is on there. So next up, let's get to a new app for the iPad. And this is a new old app. This is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, released by Aspar, I believe is the company name. It's $10, and this gives you that great Star Wars game on your iPad. So we haven't gotten many, LucasArts games on the iPad as of yet, and LucasArts is now disbanding. So this is kind of cool to see this happen at this moment in time. I was not a huge fan of KOTOR, as it's called. I'm a much bigger fan of Rogue Squadron and some of those other games for the N64. But there was a huge fan base for this game. There was even a sequel game for this. I don't really encourage people to go out and get games for the iPad, quite frankly. I really think the Nintendo 3DS and the other, even the Vita would be better because you're not going to have the app that changes. Really worry about games and developers changing it and ruining games you pay for, especially at $10. So for games, I have some reserves there. You might as well get the original, I think. But for people that want this on the go on the iPad, this is a great choice and highly, highly recommended. Next up, Marco Arment has sold the magazine to its editor, Glenn Fleshman. This is a really weird thing. So Marco Arment has created the magazine, and Glenn Fleshman was the editor. And this is one of the smallest acquisitions I've read about. A single person to a single person acquisition. Kind of cool, kind of interesting. That's going on. And he's just basically selling everything he has access to. In other Apple news, Apple has ceased downloading of trailers. So you can no longer download trailers from their website. You'll have to go to the Pirate Bay and actually steal these trailers, these advertisements, which I think is wild. Evidently, this was done at the request of the movie studios, which is just a wild, wild thing. So, with that said, that's pretty much the big stories in the Apple world. It's been kind of the quiet before E3, so to speak. Lots of stuff about to happen, but nothing really, really firm. A lot of rumors such as AirDrop being in iOS 7, which was an obvious thing. You can now ship refurbished products to Apple stores, which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of little things going on in the Apple world, but nothing huge or big here. One little thing as well, Apple is now offering display replacements for the iPhone 5 for $145, so or $49. So if your iPhone screen, your iPhone 5 screen gets broken, you can now do that. But that's about it. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of little things going on, but those are the big things going on in the Apple world. Stay tuned for next week's show. It's going to be huge with WWDC. E3 is also next week, so a lot of news out of Nintendo, so stay tuned for that edition as we do that on Thursdays. And it's going to be an exciting week next week. I'm not going to want to do much but look at all the news coming out because it's going to be a crazy, crazy week. So with that said, thank you for tuning into today's show, and I will be back tomorrow on my birthday for another edition of iWake. Have a good one.